All right, guys, here we are. Finally have the Falcon rigged and ready, and I've got to spend a couple of the last days on the water with it. But you know, trying to get this thing broke in. I've got about 3.5, 4 hours on it. I've been really busy deer hunting and stuff like that. You know how it is this time of year. But finally got it rigged and ready. Going to walk you guys through and show you everything there is to know about this this Predator 20-footer, this F20 Predator. I mean, it's an incredible boat. I've got shocks on my trailer, first trailer I've ever had that has shocks on it. Man, this thing pulls like a dream, and it's everything about this boat so far, I'm incredibly impressed. I mean, it is such a smooth riding boat. It's a 20-foot boat, but fishes like a 21. Huge front deck. The seats are comfortable. Just everything about this boat was well thought out, and I'm super impressed and can't wait to spend a year in it. So we're gonna hop in here and show you everything there is about it. Super major, but stuff nonetheless. So here we are at the driver's seat, and man, this is probably where I've spent a lot of my time in a bass boat. You know, these seats right off the bat, I noticed they're very, very comfortable. Not a lot different than my Blazer seats were, but they're just a little bit more solid feeling. I mean, you're sitting up a little higher in this boat, but very comfortable seats. You know, the way they kind of hug around your hips right here, they feel really solid, and just make the ride that much more comfortable. But starting off, Jones Trolling Motor down in Texarkana, they rig all my stuff for me every year. They do an absolutely fantastic job. Right here, this year I'm running two 12-inch, nothing different, same as I have the last 3 years, two 12-inch EcoMap Ultra, Garmin's of course, and like I said, they're both 12-inch graphs. You know, I run mapping on this one here, and on this one here, I run mapping and sonar as I'm running. And then when I shut off to idle around, I run side scan on this one. Then I'll have a slither right here of mapping, then down scan, which is clear view, and then 2D sonar over here on this far right side. You know, the cool thing about Garmin is you can go in, you can set these quick buttons to all kinds of different screens, mapping, sonar, clear view, side scan, whatever you want it to be. And so you have your quick settings here. You can just push it and it goes right to where you want it to be. So that's a really cool feature. You know, Garmin's had that out for a while on these EcoMap Ultras. So, but super impressed with the way this turned out back here. Added my power pole switch here today. Still a few things I got to do on this boat. You know, I've got to, what else is there I've got to do? I've got one other thing I got to drill in my power pole switches up there on the front deck. You know, I've just been so busy I haven't got to do it yet, but I'll have an up and a down switch up there as well for my power poles back here. We went with the matte black power poles this year and they look really good. But on to the next, we've got the switch panel right here, your power, all your lights, horn, recirculator, aerator. The cool thing about this is there's two feels. Got one that's manual or auto. I haven't had that in several years. It's just on the Blazer, it was just manual. That was it. It's so cool here. I can fill these live wells instead of constantly pumping in fresh water. I can set it to do that, or I can set it where it's timed and it's pumping in every couple minutes for a couple minutes at a time or whatnot. But I can run my recirculator all the time, and I've got an oxygenator system in here as well. So never going to have an issue with any fish in these boats. Big live wells. I mean, I've already got my noodles in there for them, but really deep live wells, big live wells, pull out pump, it pumps the water out there. Push in, it pumps water in. This pumps water in. This is a recirc here. My oxygenators over here on this left side. Just good lights. It's got a clear divider. Both of these live wells fill at the same time. So, you know, I don't know exactly how big them live wells are. I'm going to say somewhere probably around 15, 16 gallons, maybe more. Don't quote me on that, but they're big live wells, deep and lots of room in there. We had actually 2 nearly 15-pound stripers in this one the other day. Took a couple buddies fishing and they wanted to keep a couple stripers we caught, and I had 2 15-pound stripers in this one side over here, and they had tons of room to move around. But one gas tank in this boat. It is a 50-gallon gas tank. Sits right in this area right here. Pretty cool. They were showing me down there at the factory. There's a screw somewhere right in here. I actually saw it the other day. It's covered up in carbon. There's a screw here, and there's several screws down through there that you unscrew, and this whole thing just pops up. So if you ever had a gas tank issue, it's very accessible and easy to get to. But this here is just storage. I've got a bunch of different things in there. Keep my wallet in there. I was about to forget that. Got my, you know, a couple extra pairs of sunglasses, power pole switch if needed, fishing gloves. A lot of room, goes way back up in here, and yeah, a lot of room. Pretty cool having a little middle storage thing there. I haven't had that in a long time, since I owned a Phoenix. So that's a really cool feature that I like about this boat. And then we got the ice chest here. It doesn't look like it's that big of an ice chest. When I first glanced at it, I was like, dang, I'm not gonna be able to fit just a ton of stuff in there with ice. But it goes way back up in here. As you can see, it almost all the way up here to my elbow on both sides. I put 20 pounds of ice in here this morning, and with all the drinks I've got in here, and I still could have probably put another 10 pounds of ice in there. So there's more than enough room. It's just really elongated out from side to side. It goes up under this cup holder here and up under the measuring board. So tons of room for ice in there and drinks. And it holds ice well. Like I said, I put 20 pounds in there, and we've had this lid open. I took my neighbor fishing with me this morning, and he was in and out of this thing constantly. And it's still pretty warm here, so I'm impressed with how well that holds ice there. Then you got a little storage compartment here that's really deep. You know, I keep chartreuse stuff in there, real oil, Sharpies, you know, glue, things like that. But let's see, what else? Allen wrenches, all kinds of stuff. Some hypodermic needles. I got a whole bunch of them, you know, just in case I need a fizz fish. I went to a farm supply and they'd only sell them 10. You had to buy 10. So I've got 5 or 6 left. I've loaned a few out to some people, let them have, but a lot of little just miscellaneous stuff you can keep in there. You know, that's what's cool about that little storage. And then obviously got another little cup holder here, but pliers, scissors, whatever you want right here, you can put. A lot of room. Measuring boards right here. But this is what's so unique about this boat, that, you know, Falcon's one of the only boats, or the only boat that I know of, where the rod box opens like this. And of course, I don't have a ton of rods in here because I'm getting ready to leave for the team series in the morning, so I already got all my stuff rigged up, ready to go in my truck. But these are the ones that I took with me fishing today. I mean, I'm going to say you can probably fit very easily and comfortably in there probably 40 rods, but it's so convenient with the way this box opens that if I'm standing outside on the ground outside the boat, I can just pull rods out of my rod box or put rods in. I don't have to climb up in the boat and open it this way to get in. I really like it, and it's very useful for being inside the boat too. It's easy to access. So I really like that feature, how these rod boxes open like that. I didn't know how I was going to feel about that, but now that I've got to use it for 3 or 4 days, it's a really cool feature, and I like it a lot. This is the middle box for a bunch of storage here, and this thing's huge, man. I usually carry an extra, you know, years past I've carried a big box with me, and I keep all my spare line in it with me. Here I was able to fit it down through here. Got a little sliding tray, you can put a lot of stuff in this. Pretty cool. It's got 3 slots down it, slide up and down. But this box here is a little bigger than what's supposed to be in there, so that's as far forward as I can slide it with this big Bass Mafia box in here. But lots and lots of room. I mean, you know, these trays, what's I really like about it is I've always had a hard time. I know they sell those things like suction cup to the side of your dash or whatever. You can put a spool line on a spool line, but I always end up spooling my line out of the middle box, and that's the way I've done it for years. And this holder right here is absolutely perfect for spooling line. I've got these spools of braid over in this other box. They're ginormous, 5,000 yards. and they even fit in here, and I can spool on off of it. So I really like that, and I don't think that's what that was created for, but that's something I'm gonna lock for it, is being able to spool line out of there. So but I've got all my spare line that I need, and or that I feel like I'm ever going to need on the water over there on that side, so it's easy to get in and out. And you can see there's so much room way up under there where I can still put stuff, and I'm sure I'm gonna put a lot of stuff over there, but a lot of my stuff right now, like I said, I've got my truck because I'm getting ready to go fish that last General Tire 10 series in Florida, but I really don't know what else I could fit in here. I mean, not fit in here, I could fit a ton of stuff in here, but what I really need in here, because I've got these storages over here as well that I keep a lot of my smaller bags, like all my drop shot stuff, my extra weights, my wacky rig bag, you know, my extra towels, I mean, all my things that I use for Damiki rigging, all my Z-Man dirt sheds, my scales, you know, all my drop shot weights and hooks. I mean, it's just, there's so much room. And you know, that was something I was having an issue with over the last couple of years, is I needed more room to put stuff. And this boat, I've got so much room that I've got all this extra space, and I don't really have anything else I can fill it up with, which means I'm gonna probably get a lot more speed. And that's a pretty cool thing, and I'm excited to figure out. I haven't got to run this boat top speed yet. Like I said, I only got 3 hours on it, and I've got it up to 60 miles an hour at 4,800 RPM. That's the most I've put on it so far, but a lot of extra room in here, you know, that you can put stuff. You can actually put more rods in here. There's a rod holder thing here for the butts of your rods. It's a really cool thing. You flip out, this flap comes open, and your butts go in there, and it's that's pretty cool. A lot of extra room though, man. I mean, you can just put stuff in here for days. I've got fire extinguishers and things like that in there. A couple extra spools of braid. This is big spools of braid I was telling you about right here. Let's see, 3,000 yards, not 5, 3,000 yards, but big old spools of braid, and they fit in that thing just perfect for spooling up extra line. So up here this year, different look for me. You know, I've been running NBT screen. That's what I've been running, or that's what I ran last year. Big 22-inch NBT screen. This year, Garmin only wanted us to run their stuff. So I've got a GPS map, 16-inch GPS maps here for LiveScope this year, and then another 12-inch Garmin EcoMap Ultra right here. Running mapping and perspective on this unit, and this one is only dedicated to LiveScope forward-facing sonar. So, but I was playing around with it today, and of course, like I said, I've got a lot of settings still to do in this boat, figure out what I like and don't like as far as the way my units are set up. I think, you know, next year we can only use LiveScope for one period a day, so I'm going to end up running mapping on this one, and I'll probably do 2D on this one next year is what I'm thinking, because I went to map on this one this morning at one point. I really like it. It's just really big map. It blows it up, and I like that a lot. Running two 34 LVS 34 transducers, one for forward, one for perspective. Running the Trident is what this is, Jones trolling motor. It's actually their mount that they make. It's called the Trident. I think it's kind of like an NBT product, but they sell it down there at Jones Trolling Motor, and I know they ship. If you guys ever want one, reach out to me. I'll get you in contact. I'll get those mounts for your LiveScope transducers. They're by far the best I've ever used. There's so many different little adjustments you can do for them, and they're just rock solid. Running the Garmin Force, obviously. You know, this will be my 4th year running the Garmin Force, and I'm absolutely in love with that trolling motor. It's just a powerful trolling motor and rock solid. I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. But that's pretty much the Falcon, guys. This thing is huge. This front deck is ginormous. My girls were up here doing cartwheels on it the other day, and just so much room up here to walk around, getting back and forth from the cockpit up to here, and just lots of room to stand up here. I mean, plenty of room for 2 guys. You know, I stand here and run the trolling motor like this. There's plenty of room for another guy to stand right there. I don't like anybody else fishing beside me, but when we do a lot of crappie fishing, my dad, you know, he always likes to stand by me and fish up here. Everybody wants to look at the scope. I mean, that's so fun. So plenty of room for 2 guys to stand up here. And just super impressed with this boat. I've had it in some pretty rough water already. You know, not rough, but 2.5 to 3 foot chop. We've had a lot of wind here. A little cold front kind of blew through a couple days ago, and the wind's been blowing here behind it. It's been warm the last couple days, but a lot of wind, and got to get this thing out in some pretty choppy waves, and gosh, it handles it so good. I just can't wait to get this thing opened up. I feel like this boat, just from what I've seen from it, I think it's going to be a low to mid 70s boat, probably 73, 75 potentially, depending on how I keep it loaded. But I don't know. You know, I'm running a 26 pitch Pro Max on the back of my Mercury. Got a 250 Mercury on the back of it again. But seems like it's going to be a quick boat. Rides like a Cadillac, and can't wait to spend all season in this this F20 Predator, this Falcon. It's an incredible boat. So appreciate you guys walking through with me and checking out my new boat. Like I said, I'm impressed with it, and I can't find anything I don't like about it yet. It's an awesome boat. It seems like we're gonna catch a lot of fish out of it. See you guys later.